Welcome to our Adventure Period channel. This is my son Cohen.
Hello.
I'm Bonnie, and we are going to share our many adventures on this channel. Our first adventure that we're going to share is our trip to Italy. We recently spent 3 weeks there. Our first stop being Venice, which is going to be the topic of this video. So, first of all, on our travels, I usually plan all of our trips. It's like kind of one of my favorite things to do. So I planned this whole trip myself.
And I'm almost like the opposite. She plans it all, and I ask her the day of, hey, where are we going?
Yes,
for most of our
true.
trips. For this, I knew we were going to Italy, but I just show up and do whatever. So
That is true.
Kind of opposites.
Most of the family is like that. They know very little. They just go, which is amazing for me. I love it. So we had our flight. We flew out of San Francisco and landed in Venice. We took a TAP Air, which is a Portuguese flight, so we had a landing in Lisbon. And it was pretty uneventful when we made it there, no problems. And we hopped a bus and went out to hop a water taxi into Venice and ended up at Rialto Bridge about 6 p.m.
Yeah. I remember finding the place was the hard part.
Oh, yes.
We were next to the bridge for a while, like, because it said go to the bridge and then go somewhere. And
Yes.
that was...
So I rented an apartment on Airbnb. I wanted the most Venetian experience apartment I could find. This is our apartment. We're up on the top. You get to go into this cool little secret door. I love it. And up we go. Kids are sleeping there. Bathrooms. Lovely kitchen. Hi, Traeger. You're enjoying some Venetian coffee and pastries?
Yes, and research on transportation.
Awesome. Here's our view of our apartment. And they sent me directions, but it felt like every other step was missing. Like we got half of our, like every other instruction, so it was kind of this challenge to find it, and it was kind of fun. We had a friend with us who also brought teenagers, so there were 9 people on our trip, 6 of which were teenagers. So we had all these teenagers and 3 adults, and we're looking at our printed instructions and not really service to use our phones and trying to find this apartment, which we ultimately found. We did have to go into a restaurant and ask to join their Wi-Fi so we could pull up some stuff and figure it out, but we got it.
Yeah, it took us probably an hour. I don't know. Just in total.
I think, yeah, an hour, maybe,
Yeah.
which it should have took like 20 minutes.
It wasn't that far of a walk.
No, and we're dragging luggage and suitcases, and we've been flying for like, I don't know, 17 hours or something, all in all, from the drives and the layovers and everything, so, yeah.
Yeah, I just remember guarding all the suitcases. I sat down and everyone put the suitcases and started walking around trying to see.
Find
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
street or instruction,
Yeah, we got there.
We did. And then by the time we got into our apartment and settled and ready for dinner, it's like 9 p.m. and we're thinking everything's gonna close. We need to find something fast. So the kids had seen a pizza place, and I was kind of like, pizza? We have that at home. Let's get something more, Italian. And but the kids, that's what they wanted, and we were in a hurry. We needed to get something before everything closed. But the pizza place was closed.
Yep.
So there was this little hole-in-the-wall restaurant that I just thought looked really Italian and cool, and I wanted to go there, so I ran back to it because it was still open. And I ran inside and I asked the guy, can I still get food? And I was like, I'm worried about 6 teenagers melting down on me. So, so I was kind of, wanting to get food. And he says, yeah, the kitchen's closed, but anything we have in the case you can have. And it was lasagnas and stuff. And I was like, perfect, I need 9 lasagnas. And he goes, relax. And he pours me a glass of wine. And it was the coolest thing. It was the most cool experience and the best thing for my first Italian experience in Venice. So we sat there and had a glass of wine while they packaged us up 9 servings of lasagna and a bunch of bread, and we took it back to our apartment and had the coolest little family dinner in our Venetian apartment.
It was really good too.
And it was really good, really good. Okay, so the next morning, I got up really early because I usually do, and our apartment had like a little rooftop terrace, and you had to climb these. You opened a closet, like a closet.
Yeah, it was right next to the bed. It was just like this. It wasn't even like a full door. It was
Right.
like a half door.
And you climb these stairs through like an attic space, and you crawl out this another little tiny short door.
It's like a window. It looked like a window that they just built a deck on.
Yeah, and then there's this rooftop deck on the top, and so I went out there and spent a little time, watched the sunrise, and then your dad got up and came out there with me for a little bit, and then we decided to head out and look for coffee. And as it turns out, at 6 a.m. in Venice, there's like no one out, like no one, and it was my favorite time cruising around because there was no one out, and it was just like the neatest little city, like nothing I've ever experienced. And we found a coffee shop down by Rialto Bridge, and it was super good coffee, and they had chocolate croissants. Oh my god. So we brought a bunch of chocolate croissants back to the apartment for everyone, and coffee for the adults, and then everybody got up and ate some food.
Well, they were gone. I went up to the balcony area and I drew the skyline because it was really cool just to see everything. It was a very different city to go into.
Yeah.
For our first city, it's the most radically different to anything we do here. Everything's really close. There's no cars. Everyone's walking.
Yeah.
Bridges, canals. I had no idea what to expect because I had done no research. So I was like, wow, this is like crazy different. So it's.
For me, it was like I forever have wanted to go to Venice, so definitely a dream come true for me. So after we were all ready and whatnot, we headed out to town. I had booked us skip the line tickets for San Marcos Basilica, which definitely do that, skip the line. The line was so long and we got to like skip the whole thing. So do that if you're going. And that was pretty amazing. It was very ornate. So the whole trip, I ended up just being amazed at the architecture and the buildings and the ceilings. It's like all of the ceilings are more amazing than anything else about the building.
And they're so intricate. And you start looking at just like one little piece of trim and you're like, I wouldn't even want to have to make this. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And then we went to the top of the bell tower.
Which was cool. That was a really cool view.
Yeah, that was really
We
fun.
were trying to track down where we were staying.
Yes.
All the guys were on one side, just like, is it this building? Like,
Is that
it,
the
is it the one
apartment?
over here? Yeah, we were trying to like track it down. It's down this street, and then yeah. I don't think we ever really found it. But.
No, well, we wouldn't know. I don't know how we would prove
Yeah,
if we
yeah.
knew.
There's like 3 of them that could be on, and I wouldn't be surprised.
At the top of the clock tower, or actually I think this is a bell tower. Hi Cohen. Hi kiddos, yeah, bell tower. Mason! Mason! Hi!
I can see where you're pointing, but
So, and we just kind of cruised around that main square, and we tried Aperol Spritz, which I didn't end up being a huge fan of. I don't think anyone in our party was like hugely excited about it, but yeah.
It was a good experience.
Later on, when we tried the limoncello and the limoncello spritzes, those were very good.
Yeah,
Those
that
were a
was
favorite.
phenomenal.
Let's see, what else did we do that day?
We just kind of walked around the wharf there,
Yeah,
looking
checked
at all the
everything
different
out.
buildings, because there's like a big gap of wire and then a bunch of other buildings on the other side.
Mhm.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah,
There was just too much to even look at. We were just like, oh, what is that?
yeah,
What is that?
yeah. It was amazing.
We also visited Doge's Palace, which had impressively ornate ceilings.
It's very impressive.
It's almost like it's almost like you care about art.
And we checked out the Bridge of Sighs, which is an enclosed bridge that connects the palace to the prison.
It was a long day. We did a lot of walking. Checked out the view from our apartment, which was pretty amazing. I wanted something on a canal, and I got one on a canal. It's a side canal, but that way it's quieter and nice. So it was perfect. But it had an amazing view, so we enjoyed that. And then the next day, we went to the islands, so Moreno Island and Moreno Island, and checked those out. And we caught a water taxi to go out and do that. And the first one was the island in Moreno where they do all the glass blowing.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So we watched a demonstration of that. Did you end up getting any glass?
I didn't.
I got.
We looked at a lot.
Yeah, I got a beaded necklace. It was really pretty. It was cool because they had like planters, like planter boxes, and they had made glass flowers for them and stuff like that. So like things that aren't glass were made out of glass.
Yeah.
That was
And
interesting.
then there were several shops where they were actually doing it in the back. They had the
Yeah.
shop, and then you could just go in and
Watch them.
watch it.
Yeah.
Do we have to pay for it?
No,
No, yeah, we just walked in.
I mean they just wanted you to like shop.
It
and
was
buy.
cool.
Yeah, so that was neat. And then we bumped over to Moreno, which is the fishing island that's super bright, all the super bright buildings. So that was really cool. I really wanted to see that. I thought it would be really cool photography. So that's a hobby for me. I love taking pictures, so I thought that would be cool. But I think there was some tiredness happening by the time we got there, so some jet lag was catching up. So we were a little, yes, this is cool. Let's check it out. Okay, let's go back. Let's go eat.
I think everyone kind of had that jet laggy feeling for like a week into the trip. It was a long flight. You gotta get used to a different time zone.
Yeah, but it was good. It was good, and it was really pretty. And then we cruised back to Venice and went to our little restaurant that rescued us the first night. We had made reservations to actually go and eat there, and so we went and sat down and ate there. And again, it was amazing. The food was amazing. Different, like I got raviolis that had like an asparagus and tomato sauce on it. It wasn't really like sauce. It was like just vegetables on this pasta, but it was really, really good. Really good.
I don't remember what I got, but that was a cool little
I think you got lasagna.
probably. I don't remember. But it was really cool, like vibe. It was probably one of the most authentic places we went to in the whole trip, and that was like the day one.
Yeah, it really was. It was my favorite restaurant that we ate at.
Yeah.
Which I'll see if I can link it in the description.
Oh, I wonder if it.
I looked it up. I did look it up. I found it, so I'll link it. Okay, what did we do after that? Oh, we went and rode the gondolas. So we rode gondolas. You can't go to Venice without riding gondolas. So
That was cool.
we went and did that. Not all of us went. I think 3 teenagers stayed back.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us went and rode the gondolas, which was pretty cool.
It was. It's cool going under the bridges and all the different like locations. And the guy knew a lot about. He kind of told us a lot about their culture
Yeah.
and like their kind of how they thought about tourists
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it was kind of interesting because you don't know anything until you get there. of how it actually is. So that was cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Talked about a few of the buildings and like some of, interesting history that happened in some of them and things like that. So that was cool.
That was end of that day.
Yeah, and I think the next day we headed out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the next day actually, the adults, us 3 adults, we got up and we walked around Venice. It was raining a little bit, so we had a little morning stroll in the rain, which was kind of cool. The teenagers were sleeping in, and then we checked it out and we hopped the water taxi and the bus back to the Venice airport, so we could pick up a rental car and head up to the Dolomites, which that'll be our next video. Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You have an outro?
Should I?
I don't know.